Can you tell me your funniest kitchen incident?
Okay.
Oh, no.
When was the actual journey that you knew that food was actually going to be your life?
I always wanted to be involved in food. I come from a family that the culture was all about food. But when it came to actually wanting to have a career, my father said, that's not a job for a girl.
I first went to South Africa in 2023. For me, it's one of the best places in the world for food and drink. How have you found the food scene has elevated through the years, especially in South Africa?
The South African chefs, they are just so willing and excited to try new things.
The food culture is just out of this world because there's different cultures, different flavors, and then there's also a mix of flavors from other countries that come into the country. So it's just explosive.
Hello, my friends, and a very warm welcome back to a special episode of the Chef JKP Podcast. I'm so glad you're tuning in. I want to know how everyone is doing. It has been a while, and I'm really warming up for season 12, which is just around the corner. I'm really excited for you to take a look at that. But before we start, if you want to support the show, which I know you do, then please click that all-important subscribe button on YouTube or click follow wherever you get your wonderful and amazing podcasts. As you know, it helps us to grow this show. We can keep on providing the content and the amazing guests that you love. That is the only thing we shall ever ask of you lovely people. Now, for this show, I have partnered up with another fellow podcaster, and her show is called At the Café with Tasneem. By the way, make sure to also follow her amazing podcast. We actually decided to present a show together, however, with a very special guest, Jenny Morris. She's someone who knows the industry inside and out. An absolute pioneer and a household name. She's an author, a television chef, and a presenter. She goes by the name of the Giggling Gourmet. And I have to tell you, she had both of us in stitches the whole time. She is also a regular to the UAE, as she's always coming here and hosting amazing masterclasses at Taste of Dubai and Taste of Abu Dhabi. She joined us online all the way from South Africa. Trust me, you're going to be absolutely inspired. Listen up for a story as to how she got into cooking. Time to rock and roll.
I'm Jenny Morris, and I'm a celebrity chef from South Africa. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, I'd like you to share, like, and subscribe.
Jenny, a very warm welcome to this special collaborative podcast. We're super excited to have you. Honestly, it's a real pleasure. So what we're going to do, Jenny, is we're going to kick things off with the most important question is, can you tell us your first or favorite childhood food memory, please?
Oh my goodness gracious me, I have so many wonderful ones. But I had a granddad called Bob. Bob had the most magnificent garden, and he had a mandarin tree. And these mandarins never ever turned orange, they were green. And he would cook these big, beautiful, juicy, they were just too gorgeous for words. That he would peel the skin back, take a segment out, rip off the membrane, and take one little cell. They were so juicy it gets. Say, put that on your tongue, Suki, and bite it. That's one of them. And then the same Grandpa Bob would make crumpets. And every afternoon at 3 o'clock, he would say, Suki, wear your shoe. Now put your shoes on, Suki. take me down to the big house we lived in the cottage, and he would make crumpets on the solid plate. And they were absolutely gorgeous. And you put thick, cold, salty butter on them with honey. And I would lick all that butter and honey off it for the takeaway. I don't like.
And Jenny, are you still making crumpets to this day?
Well, my kids, yes, and my granddaughter, Lexi, we make pancakes all the time. And my son, Ron, was very partial to it. So he grew up, with pancakes. He has his own recipe.
Well, Tasneem, what are your thoughts on pancakes?
Pancakes are the most amazing thing. It takes you back to a very, very special place in your childhood. I simply agree with you there, Jenny.
You know what's funny also, so we're recording this on the 17th of February.
Yeah.
And it's official Shrove Tuesday, which is also Pancake Day.
Wonderful. Who would have thought?
So, it's meant to be.
Meant to be, Jenny.
So Jenny, I want to also understand, during your sort of family time, what were the traditional meals in South Africa when all of the family were gathered together? What would be the spread on the table?
Well, I can give you the Sunday lunch. Like, yummy. Worked 5.5 days a week. And she'd bake a very low day on a Saturday morning, and you could smell it. Because she would take a leg of musher, not lamb, musher. Because you know what? There's nothing better than a big fat sheep. The chickens were, you would feed a family of 6, one chicken. Today I can eat a whole one by myself, and you could smell it and would waft down from the kitchen the beautiful rosemary and garlic. Did you ever put lemon on it in those days? Because she was crazy for mint sauce, but you could smell Sunday. And that hopper spa should go on the door, bring you a nice cup of tea, and Frank kept you to get to the kitchen to help her. So the Sunday roasts were magnificent. Beautiful. There's always beautiful beetroot salad plucked from the garden. If I loved it, I would help her, and just don't gather up big chunks of anything from the garden, but especially the bit. And I would love watching her doing the mint sauce. She would chop it on the board, throw a bit of hot water on it, and then I do it in a machine. They did it all by hand. It was perfect. Lovely mint, sugary syrup.
And how many people were on the table at that time, Jenny, with the family?
Well, we were a family of 5, but there was always space for another 2. So we treat Mrs. Brooks next door because she lived alone. So she always got a Sunday lunch out of us. And there was always someone that came to the door. So plenty.
That
Wow.
sounds amazing. The mint sauce?
Yeah.
Never go wrong with that.
Oh, love mint sauce.
On the mutton, definitely.
Do you know, no one does mint sauce really well anymore, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Stop buying and make it so blooming easy.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
So then, Jenny, during your high school time, again, what were the sort of foods that you and your friends were sort of having either in school or out of school?
Well, you know what? We always had leftovers on our sandwiches. I would have curry. My best was a curried mint sandwich.
Yes.
The curries. Eba, yes, or avocado. Because we had a big tree in the yard, and there were this big, thick, buttery pears taste, remember?
Mm-hmm.
The tall address, stunning. And Rupert would be like thick on the bread. I loved egg mayo.
Yes.
My friends didn't like it because as you'd open the lunchbox, they would say, "Who opened the lunchbox?" Avocado. Always leftovers, even like your tomato bready, a tomato stew, or just potato sandwich with chili.
Exactly. Those were the best tastes. The best taste came from the simplest ingredients. It really takes you back to think about those kind of ingredients. And those sandwiches were the best, Jenny.
Absolutely. There was a boy called Gino Smajasi. Gino was Italian, and his mom would send him these lovely crispy rolls. We never got that except for on a Sunday. And at school. So he would swap his beautiful, big, thick, gorgeous, meaty sandwiches for one of my midday sandwiches. So I love swapping with Gino as well. Gorgeous bread his mother used to make.
Amazing.
And then during your sort of higher education, Jenny, let's say, Were you sort of always leaning towards food, or did you have a completely different path?
No, it's always food. I always wanted to be involved in food. I come from a family that the culture was all about food. But when it came to actually wanting to have a career steeped in food, my father said, that's not the job for a girl. You cannot be in the kitchen with all those burly men sweating over pots. I'll put you silly man, you. But anyway, so he said, there's no money for that kind of education. Food, but I'll give you the best wedding you've ever seen. And you can cook for your husband and your family. So I thought, okay, I'll show you. I became a telephone electrician. And I would go back and do it again today, over and over again. I still remember everything. And I was on construction. There were 10 ladies who were one of the first crews. And it was incredible because we take an entry roll, put the frames up, and just take the cables, run them off the wrong way, break them down, skid them in, solder into the tags. It was amazing, but food was always there. So every Friday at work, we would collect money from the boys on a Thursday, and we'd cook up a store and have picnic lunch. Fridays, there's always been food for me.
And how long did you do that particular job for, Jenny?
Well, for just over 2 years. And it's so funny because with the food, in my cooking studio, I do tea building with food, and Telcom, which is our local telephone company, they were doing a team build. And I said to this man, is your colour code still the same? So he says, well, what do you know about our colour code? And I started rattling it off. And he couldn't believe it. He really, really, really couldn't believe it. So, but as I said, always goes back to food.
Yes. Everything goes back to food, Jenny. Food is.
He died enough, you'll make it happen.
Of course. Did you find any interesting recipes while you were doing that kind of work? Something different that came along?
Not really, because you know what what I do for a living is I'm a recipe developer. Yes, so I don't know, it's just this. I have a relationship with spices and herbs. Things I just know what loves each other. You know, if I was to marry, I'd be the best matchmaker and make a lot of money. You know, but some people go and matchmake people and marriages together. I do that with food because I just seem to. It's an inherent thing. I don't know. I just know what lights each other.
Yes.
And so back then we just cooked with things that would work.
Wonderful.
And Jenny, with this particular job that you held down for 2 years, you know, and you said you were working with a few guys as well, and you had these picnics every Friday. I'm very curious to know what was the sort of pick of the picnic, if you like. What did they really sort of lean towards? Was it an egg sandwich? Was it mutton? Was it mint sauce?
Not the food depending on the season, but now you must understand, Becky was Dutch.
Oh.
Nancy was Afrikaans. The one girl was German. So, and here I was South African leaning towards, because I love Indian and I love Haitian. So we would just all bring us something. And the boys were happy to eat. So then we thought, why don't we try and coordinate this thing? You know, so often it would just be cold meats and salads, but beautiful salads from each different country.
You never go wrong with salads, hey?
You can't go wrong with salad. Salad's not just a bowl of leaves.
Yes.
That's so true.
It's a whole culture, really.
That's so true. I think people they really don't know how to do proper salads anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's an art form.
Of course. Definitely, it's an art form.
So, Jenny, when was the actual journey that you knew that food was actually going to be your life? How did that moment come about?
Well, I could say when I was a fetus, but you know, and then I grew up to being a teenager, and then to a big lady, and then I became a wife, and I said we had friends, and they would bring food to the house and say, "Can you help me? I've got people coming for dinner," or "It's my son's birthday," and they're not very good cooks, so they would bring the ingredients. I'd cook the food, they'd fetch it, and I'd end up cleaning. and paying the electricity bills and the water bill. But, I loved it. I love it because I'm a feeder. And then a friend of ours approached us and he said, I have this beautiful space. Don't you want to join my son and have a restaurant? And my husband went ballistic because he had free labor. He had a slave, but knew how to wire. And he had a sound of writing. And he designed to sound of writing and discotheques and that kind of thing. So he went mad. And so I couldn't do the restaurant there. But I continued to cook for friends until one day a friend of mine said, don't you want to cook for me? Because I'm going to open this kiosk type thing in town and serve lunches to the officers. I thought about it and I thought, no, I don't want to do that any longer. If I have a financial interest in the actual business, then I will consider it. So off we go to see the person selling it. And it was like a tiny box. And I thought, how on earth could anybody push, although I've done work at small spaces, trust me. And he said to me, he does catering from here. And it's not possible. When I think about, I catered for Prince Charles, out of a tiny kitchen. So it kind of began with that. And then I came home and I just said to my husband, you know what? I am going to become a caterer. And that's how it all started. First little job with BMW because, went to see them. He said, I do catering for BMW. So I thought, let me just go and see if this man's not a liar. And so off I go. And they said, yes, he supplies pizzas to us. I said, oh, yes. He said, we get pizzas from him. So he said, who are you? So I said, no, I'm a caterer. He said, may I have your card? I was a liar. I said, just give them off onto Michael Pitt. So he said, well, and I just got a cell phone. And so he took the cell phone number, and I was at my preschool. I was still at a preschool. And I was in the garden with the kids. In fact, I was in the Sankers, Plymouth phone rate. And it was this man in BMW he'd let down. And he said, could I help? They've got all these people coming and was aiming for 20 people or something. So I said, oh gosh, I have to see if the kitchen can take on some more work. We've got a very big function going on. So I found my friend Sheena and I said, do you want to be a caterer? And that's how it really started. And she said, because she put me in a cook, but she packed crates and she would drive. So I said to the man, you know what, traffic's bad. It could be, you have to just take anything that I'm going to dish up for you. And if you're happy to do that, we'll just kind of zip it to the kitchen with the other function. I turn up for Morris, and we were 5 minutes late with the delivery. And within days, we got an executive board lunch from BMW, and then we got through BMW once again, the Dutch embassy, an art exhibition. Oh, did I have fun? Go to the antique shops because they wanted different vessels and they wanted interesting platters of things. Amazing. Yes, little potties, chambers that go to the bed. But they were beautiful enamel ones. I put dips in them. They did all kinds of magnificent plates. And from that one, I got Sir David Wilcox. And then from Sir David Wilcox, I got Prince Charles. And so it went on because it was the people that happened to be there. Yes. So then I was established, no one could take that away from me. And sadly, my father had already passed. Otherwise, I would have given him a slap and said, see, I told you.
But I think that's an amazing journey. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like accidental.
Of course.
In a way.
Of course. Exactly.
Right?
Oh, nothing planned, nothing that. I mean, when I cooked for Prince Charles, there was quite a bit of publicity. And I did a couple of radio interviews. And that's how my radio career started. 28 years ago, and I cooked for Prince Charles on 5th of November in the same year that Princess Di died.
Oh.
And the children were small, and they brought them to South Africa, to Kruger Park, and to do stuff, and they had gone back. And I cooked for him. It was a big one with 600 people. And we saw the space that I cooked it. Yeah.
So when, I want to understand, you got yourself established, which was incredible.
Exactly.
And then what came first? Was it television, books, or recipe development?
Do you know what? What happened? When I there's a Houston radio about Prince Charles, and then there's the one lady went off, and they said, "Please, could you stack in for her?" I said, "I'm not sure, present here. That's a bit crazy." And they said, "No, please do." So radio kind of came first. I did it, and then I disappeared. And when she came back, and they said, "For listeners, must you please come back?" So first came the radio, and then from that radio, I was invited to do some food shows, as you do, like the test divide, that kind of thing. So I did that, and the audience would say, "Where can we come and cook with you?" And then we rented the local school's domestic science kitchen. And then a book publisher happened to come to one of my classes, and she said, "I'd love you to do a cookbook for me." So it was radio cookbook. And then it was television. I did some children's stuff on TV. But I mean, the big break came when I was the first South African to be signed by Food Network, because I mean, that took me to 142 countries, especially in OSN in your own country, and to I've gone completely blank. What's the Aaron Channel they called?
There's what Fatter Feet?
As Fatter Feet, yes.
Yeah.
At first, how many millions of viewers? It's
Amazing.
incredible. So all around the world, I have a Russian voice, I have an Italian voice. They say, "But love it," into the different voices. So yeah. And then life just goes on. This is a bonus for me. I'm just very blessed that I have what I have because of what I do, and it can be gone tomorrow. So you're going to have your feet firmly planted on the ground, my friend. So you must stay humble, and you have to stay humble.
It's good. It's kind of like a gift. It's like a gift that came.
No, but
Yeah.
excuse me. So I want to understand also, how did the two of you meet exactly?
It's like a radio show.
I did. Tell them, Jenny.
Yeah.
I used to be on a radio show called Radio Al-Ansar in South Africa,
Right.
a little community radio station in Pietermaritzburg, actually. And I had a show called The Alley Café, and I used to do a culinary cuisine segment. And so I sent Jenny an email, and I asked her, "Would you like to feature on my show every Tuesday and give the listeners a recipe or two?" And she was so happy to do it. She was like, "Yes, darling, I'll do this for you." And every Tuesday, on time, on point, Jenny was there. And I used to be like, "Welcome to the culinary cuisine hot seat, Jenny." And that's how we met. And Jenny came to Durban, and she did a live cooking demo for us. And the ladies loved her. Jenny, do you remember the late Zuleika Mayat? You also spent some time with her. The lady that wrote the Indian Delight recipe book. Yes,
wow.
Jenny had the privilege of meeting her as well. Yeah. And she said to Jenny, "Your cooking is amazing." So those were wonderful moments. Thank you so much, Jenny, for that. Ladies still speak about you till now.
I mean, that's amazing. But also, I want to just say to the two of you, being South African, I first went to South Africa in 2023 for my sins, and for me, it's one of the best places in the world for food and drink. The hospitality is world class.
Yeah.
Honestly, and because I didn't sort of go with any expectations.
Yes.
And it just blew me away. And I fell in love with it to the point that I was telling my wife that we're going to invest go to Franschhoek or wherever, and we're going but genuinely, it was incredible, and to this day I love the place, and I completely understand why people fall in love, especially with the food culture that you have.
For sure.
It's so vast and so rich.
Yeah. The food culture is just out of this world, because there's different cultures, different flavors, and then there's also a mix of flavors from other countries that come into the country. So it's just explosive. Really amazing.
Very global, and we're very authentic as well. And that's what I've loved. Some of the authenticity hasn't changed. And being spoiled what it is. But we've got it's almost like Dubai. We've got Japanese, we've got Spanish, we've got Chinese, we've got, you name it, we have it.
Yes.
And we have the produce and we have the climate. So that you were saying, James, I'm not surprised, darling, that you were so happy because we really do rock it.
Well, and also I wanted to ask you from a personal point of view, how have you found the food scene has elevated through the years, especially in South Africa?
Do you know what? I think, especially if I think about our South African chefs, they are just so willing and excited to try new things. And, as the doors open more and more and more, we got to experience ingredients that we couldn't really get before. Now you can go to delicatessen or to even a supermarket. You can go to a supermarket now and you can get shrimp paste. Whereas you would have to go into some funny little place where there was a community. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we have local palates. I want to tell you, our chefs are well-traveled. They read books if they don't get the opportunity to travel. And then they create shoots. We've got some of the best chefs in our country.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100%. They're incredible. The restaurants,
Yes.
and the produce as well.
Produce.
Oh my word!
Exactly, it's beautiful. And Jenny makes some of the best curries herself. And if you're talking about the Indian cuisine, go down that lane. There's Jenny Morris there she's pulling out all the recipes. Amazing.
Once again, because about our culture, our global culture, and everybody respecting each other's cuisine.
Yes.
Mrs. Benegi, who would get a Sunday lunch.
Yes.
She, a lady who worked for her, she was an Indian lady. And you know what she said to me one day? She said, Kanmani, you will never buy a curry powder again. And when Mrs. Brooks would go Burmese, she would come across the fence and she would teach me how to temper my spices and roast that, teach me how to blend that, how to mix what liked each other. And that was the best gift anybody could have ever given me in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
Was still own that.
Yes.
Do you know about why? Because I'm a temptress. I want to tempt every last bit of flavor, every oil. I wax it.
Do you know what was one thing amazing about Jenny? Every time I spoke to her on radio, it was always Jeera. She loves Jeera. Jeera's in everything. She still loves Jeera. See? Yeah. Some wonderful memories, Jenny. Really.
And Jenny, you were recently in Dubai for Taste of Dubai, and you also do Taste of Abu Dhabi. So you're in the UAE quite a bit, and you've visited quite a number of times, let's say. At the same time, how has the dining landscape and also the produce changed over the years once you've visited here?
I have to tell you something. I could never live in your heat because I find it unbearable. So I like to be outdoors and in the fresh air and whatever. Well, I could live there because I can get any ingredient that my heart desires.
Yeah.
Everything, anything, and you have the best quality. I mean, when we cook at these shows like the Taste of Dubai, every ingredient, I don't know if I can name a supplier, but, or you can I name?
Yeah, please.
Rapid. Okay, so Kipsons, I have been supplying ingredients to me to cook on the Taste of Dubai for as long as I've been going there. And I have this, you don't reject anything. I want a fingerling lunch. Everything I want to cook with, they can supply it. I can go to Carrefour and I can get Madullis.
Yes.
I can a taro. I can get anything in Dubai, which I love it. I love that about it.
But also, there's also quite a South African,
of course,
community here.
Yes,
right?
Yes, a nice South African community here, and everybody's always looking for South African items, not falling short because we're finding either the same or a substitute. So you're getting just as well here.
I'm trouble with Meadville. Because. Of course, I love your friends, but do you know what, Taz? I must say something to you.
Yeah.
That the BD. Lindy's the guess.
Yes.
Best quality I've ever seen in my life. I've got a car for, but you can't sneak it back into the country. No, you can't. Not allowed to. But also when we are staying in Abu Dhabi, we have the Hilton have these apartments, and they're beautiful and they're so well equipped. I cook.
Nice.
I go mad out of there. I
Yeah.
cook.
Yeah.
Because I think,
Carrefour has super, super amazing vegetables. If I say I want South African vegetables, I'm going to Carrefour to get them. Really?
And they're amazing.
Yeah,
They
amazing
do the
stuff.
job very
Yeah.
well. So, Jenny, now what we're going to do is we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to come to what we call the quick fire round,
Fire round.
right? But the first question, Jenny, is always the most difficult. Okay, can you tell me your favorite ingredient, please?
order.
Did you think that long enough, Jenny?
No, I don't have to even think it.
Very good. That's the first one on my show. Just
Right, first one.
then, poiki or braai?
Right?
Spicy or pickled?
Oh, don't be like that now. Here comes.
Both. Tasneem,
Yeah.
are you spicy or pickled, Tasneem?
Spicy.
Spicy for Tasneem.
Spicy.
I'll go spicy, but I love pickles.
All right then. Roast chicken or mutton?
Oh, no,
She's gonna say
I'm going to
mutton,
kill you. You know that. The Saxon is your favorite child. It's an only business for me than a beautiful free-range chicken with decut breasts and big fat thighs. Lovely at just with salt, pepper, rather on hurts me up a scavity, and I'm happy.
Love it. Love it.
Love that one.
Curry or egg mayo sandwiches?
I'll get peppery any day.
Any day.
All right.
Any day.
So then, Jenny, can I ask you, in this moment in time, right now,
Yeah.
what would you say are your top 3 favorite cuisines to eat?
Indian, Thai, and Korean.
Oh,
Amazing.
love that.
You see, Indian was first. Indian was
Yeah.
first. Yeah. Yeah.
Tasneem, what about for you?
Indian.
Indian?
Indian. Thai, definitely. And I think I'm going to go with Korean as well.
Korean, I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Jenny, I'm the same as you, darling.
Love this. Love this. And now, Jenny, who would you say are your top 3 food heroes, but they don't necessarily need to be chefs?
Okay, you know what? Reza Mohammed, without a doubt.
Of course.
Rick Stein and Neil Perry.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Round of
that one,
applause.
Jenny.
And then, Jenny, I want to ask you also, so from your time in the industry, whether it was in or out of the kitchen, and you don't need to name names, can you tell me your funniest kitchen incident or restaurant incident that you've seen or been involved in?
Okay, you must remember, even though I'm at a restaurant, I do a lot of traveling and cooking in big groups with ladies and things. So if I go to Southwest Africa, I go to Namibia because we're going to do an African Christmas. It's terribly hot there, and they don't want fruitcake, and they don't want Christmas pudding and custard. So we decide we're going to do something like carrot cake and make it extra spicy and give it that sort of Christmas feel. All the ladies are all gathered around, 250 ladies. The one not house with that, the other one did that. It's very much a little similar to what we actually do. That's the Taste of Dubai. And they were throwing things in and mixing and, getting the cake going. But I already made 20, to bring in, which they would have for lunch. And we popped it into the oven, and whilst that was in the oven, we were looking at the spreading bucket, looking at the this and the that. And that smell was coming. It was too delicious for words. And they kept saying, but when is the cake going to be ready? And I kept looking in the oven. It was flat as a pancake. And I'm like, what is going on here? And eventually, like an hour and a half later, I just thought, I have to open the oven. I'm petrified. Open the oven, and it is flat as anything, and made the most delicious coconut carrot balls. And it was so fudgy and delicious they'd forgotten to put the flour in.
Oh,
That was
no.
my biggest.
Blunder me.
So I'm delegated. I had a job to do. But that was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me.
But you still rescued the situation, I feel.
Oh, yeah, you made delicious, like I said, little balls with just some extra coconut.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. You know, James, Jenny is also called the Giggling Gourmet. Did you know that?
Why?
Jenny, tell us why you call the Giggling Gourmet, Jenny.
If I have a sense of humor, I set myself up. I giggle a lot, I laugh a lot, but it's spontaneous. I can't laugh on. You can't just say, give off me, because I can't do this thing. That I don't laugh at people, I laugh with people.
Of course.
But I actually, I've got a weird sense of humor, actually. But my staff, we all laugh. We have a very happy kitchen. So I think that's where it comes from.
So I want to ask you straight after that, Jenny, one dish that always makes you giggle before you cook it.
My dish makes me giggle before I cook it. I might think of one that makes me giggle. I know one that makes me very happy before I cook it.
What's that?
The risotto, because I have half the chicken stock because my freezer's full homemade. All homemade bones and feet that have been
Nice.
manicured.
Nice.
The dick bits. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Somebody's that lovely gelatinous, thick, rich, gorgeous stock.
That's amazing,
Love
Jenny.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
James, for you, sweet or savory?
Sweet or savory? I'm a salty baby. I'm a salty baby.
Salty. Jenny and you. Salty as well?
Yeah, I'm savory. Savory, yeah.
Savory, yeah.
I mean, it's terrible, but I'll put salt on it.
Definitely.
Well, Jenny, the other thing is, again, we get a lot of different people sort of watching and listening to the show around the world. And in your experience, what advice would you give to, budding chefs or people who are looking to write cookbooks?
You know what? I would say to them, trust your gut. Try and be as original as possible. I know everybody's trying to copy the next person because they see somebody is very successful and very famous, etc., and they tend to lose themselves because they try to emulate and try to mimic. Be yourself, be a Jenny. You know what I'm saying? Just do your own thing. And you just have to love food. You have to respect it.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, you'll go a very, very, very long way.
Jenny, I love how even... Yeah, of course. Just passion. I love how even, your stories sound like ingredients. It's just so beautiful.
And I heard a rumor, Jenny, that there might be another book coming out.
Do you know what? I'm scared. I can't show you the cover because I'm sure the penguin will kill me. But I just got my first author's copy of my new cookbook called Greedy Girl, Jenny Morris. And I
Wow.
if I could platter. When I first told Gordon the title, he thought of platter. Which is silly, man. I love you. But I'm not a platter. I'm greedy for life. I'm greedy, I'm very greedy. For experiences, I'm really for lots. I just wish I had 10 arms to put around my grandchildren. I'm greedy. I want to embrace them and just love them. So it's called Greedy Girl. And the recipes in that book are for the people that I really care about. It's my friends and the people that are very close to me and my family. So the recipes are very special. Bonnie Yang, who's my future daughter-in-law, she better be because I put it in the book now. She... it's so funny, and I don't want to knock anybody, but she bought this lasagna, and it was made by a master chef in Australia, can't say who the lady is. And it actually wasn't fabulous. So I put a lovely homemade recipe in that for Bunny. And then I have a friend called Elric who says, Jenny, you make the best duck spring rolls I've ever tasted. And you know what, Elric, you're right. And so it's for all the people.
I love this.
So gorgeous, velvety chicken liver patty.
Wow.
Say,
Yeah.
that recipe, it was called as the second chance. I never thought I could love another person. And then Gordon happened. You understand? So it's just my second helping.
Of course.
Mini girl. That's what that book is all about.
I love this.
And my granddaughters have got a little chapter. Each. Alexi, I have my granddaughter in Norway. Her name is Sion. She has lovely recipes made for her. But the two little ones that live with me, they're in the kitchen with me all the time. So it's such a lovely book. I have to be careful because I'm very naughty about their chapter. How I read that chapter.
And Jenny, when is it due to be published?
It will come out, most probably land on South African soil sometime in June. And then we'll start doing launches. I'm flying to Johannesburg next month to do a media launch. It's like a pre-media thing, for all the different corporates with books coming out. So I maybe get more information about when.
Well,
Okay.
wow. Well, congratulations. It sounds
course.
amazing, the book.
Yes. Many congratulations to you, Jenny. And maybe you would come to Dubai and do a book launch here. Why not?
Well, you never know. So maybe get a sponsor.
Carrefour or Gibson's,
Carrefour?
okay. We'll give them a call.
We'll call them, Jenny.
Definitely.
We'll tell them. Definitely.
Well, Jenny,
About Spinnies.
Spinnies.
We don't think
yeah,
of spinnies. Yeah, for sure.
South
We'll have a cheeky chat with them as well.
Yeah.
Now, Jenny, the final question before we have to unfortunately wrap things up. What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Don't do it.
He's done it.
You know what? What would I give? I would have just. I've got such a big mouth, and I was very shy. I'm growing up, and I would have said to myself, you know what? Have more confidence in what you do, because you always think someone is better than yourself. Everyone cooks better than you. When I was even asked to do that first cookbook, I kind of jinxed myself because I said to who would want to buy my book? So my 16-year-old self, I would have just said, go for it.
Yeah.
And I would also say, go and do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, Jenny.
Wow. Well, Jenny, for me, it's been amazing. Really, an absolute honor to be able to speak to you so candidly and have you on the show, as well as to sort of share and go through your wonderful memories. Really, it's absolutely phenomenal. Tasneem, for you?
Yes, Jenny. Speaking to you is just, it's another seed of inspiration from all the wonderful people that I've met in my life. And you always bring such joy into any conversation. You can take so much back from this. And I love seeing this and your smile. It makes me happy.
Thank you both very, very much. And I behaved myself.
You have. Well done to you.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much.
You're not a dopey, darling.
Of course, we're waiting, Jenny.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Good evening.
Bye now.
Bye now.
What an amazing conversation. I told you she had so many funny stories, and actually to listen to her perspective was really fascinating to me. Jenny, thank you so much for taking us on a journey through your eyes, and as well as a massive thank you to Tasneem for teaming up here on the Chef JKP podcast. If you want to see more of what Jenny is doing, head over to the show notes as always, and of course, don't forget to follow and subscribe to Tasneem's podcast as well. You're going to find all of the details there. Well, to everyone listening, if this episode made you stop and listen, and I think that's exactly what great conversations do. They make you really think. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe to the Chef JKP podcast. And perhaps you know someone who would find this episode or the show incredibly interesting or informative. Do please send it across, share away, as it means absolutely everything to us, and we can reach as many people far and wide as possible throughout the world. You can also support the show by picking up one of our fantastic thermos bottles, which are absolutely amazing. They keep your drinks hot and cold, and they look seriously stylish. Even if I say so myself, you will absolutely love them. Well, you've stayed right to the very end of the show. Thank you so much, you absolute legends. This is Chef JKP signing out. See you next week as we will start with season 12. Yes, that's right. We'll start with season 12. Unbelievable. We've got so many seasons to go. And I'm really excited. The guests are absolutely amazing. Well, gang, until next time, food is memories.